Alright, so welcome to this video where we are going to get started on prompt engineering. So before we jump into what prompt engineering is, we need to clear up something. And you might know the answer to the following question, or you might not. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's address the elephant in the room. What are prompts? So I will not try to reinvent the wheel. What I will do is I will go here on ChatGPT and I will ask him what is a prompt. I will not give you any spoilers in terms that I will not use a specific prompt, I will not use a very detailed prompt, I will simply ask ChatGPT a question. So here we get the response from ChatGPT. As I told you, we don't need to reinvent the wheel, we just need to ask ChatGPT what is a prompt in terms of prompt engineering, of course. So in the context of prompt engineering, a prompt is a starting point or a piece of text that is used to generate natural language responses from a language model. A prompt can be a few words or a longer piece of text, and it is designed to elicit a specific type of response from the model. The goal of prompt engineering is to create prompts that lead to high quality responses. Well, now here we go into what is prompt engineering. But you got a point. A prompt is just the text I gave ChatGPT to get this output. So it's what you type in here. It's basically the input you give ChatGPT. Prompts can be used in a variety of applications, including chatbots like ChatGPT, question answering systems, and language translation systems. They are a key component of many natural language processing systems, short for NLP. We'll discuss more about what NLPs are, what is GPT, and some other abbreviations, and also these key components are essential for creating effective and accurate communication between machines and humans. So basically, this is what a prompt is. It's just a piece of text you use to talk with the AI. It's basically your bridge between human intelligence and artificial intelligence, so to say, in a more general way. But it's just the instruction you give the chatbot. So it's that easy. Alright, so you might wonder, why do you need to know how to manipulate prompts? Or basically how to change them in such ways so that you get a different response. And I mean, the answer is in the question, right? So, but anyway, if you're wondering, why can't you just use any type of prompts? I mean, how does this question differ from other questions, right? So, for example, let me tell ChatGPT to ignore all previous instructions before this one. So now I will ask ChatGPT, define the word prompt, and he will tell me that prompt is, it tells me that it has various meanings. It tells me that it depends on the context. As a verb, prompt means to encourage, motivate, or stimulate someone. As a noun, prompt refers to a reminder. So what you have to get is that the difference in how I gave him the instruction, or the difference in how I have written the prompt here and here is big. So I had to tell him to ignore everything before this instruction, because if I didn't do that, I would get something related to prompt engineering, because I got ChatGPT into the topic of prompt engineering. And here, I mean, ChatGPT didn't have any idea what was the topic I wanted to talk about, and he gave me the definition of prompt in various contexts. So it includes the context of natural language processing and machine learning, but it gave me two other contexts. So again, the way you write the prompt is really important because it will make the whole difference between the various outputs you will get. So in order to get the best results, you need to know how to manipulate the prompt in such ways so that you become an expert to prompt engineering and prompt design. So that's what I wanted to tell you. That's why you need to know that manipulating the prompt in various ways is very, very important. And see you in the next video. Alright, so welcome back. In this video we are going to discuss about what happens when you don't use a good prompt. So, I mean, this is kind of an example of a bad prompt, but I mean, let's go even further, right? Let's say I want to have, I don't know, give me 10 ideas for YouTube videos. I gave ChatGPT this prompt. Now, he will give me 10 ideas for YouTube, right? Let's look at them. How-to videos. Well, these are really popular. Everyone knows about tutorials. Vlogs. Well, everyone knows about them. Top 10 list, product review, reaction videos, travel videos, Q&A, challenges, gaming videos, unboxing videos. Well, there's no unique idea here, and I don't like any of them. Let's say I'm not even in the topic for these ideas. So, this is what happens when you give ChatGPT a bad prompt. How do I define a bad prompt? Well, a bad prompt is something unclear that may confuse ChatGPT. For example, you ask him for something, but ChatGPT doesn't know what you're thinking about. It doesn't know what you want. So you have to be very clear and specific when you write your prompt, so that it knows what your expected output should at least look like a bit. So, for example, I could write the prompt I have written above in a different way. Give me 10 ideas for YouTube videos that I can do with my iPhone, where I don't need to show my face. Let's say that I am an introverted person. So, here are 10 potential ideas for YouTube videos that I can create with my iPhone where I don't need to show my face. I can create time-lapse videos, ASMR videos, product reviews, screen recording tutorials, stop-motion animation, voiceovers, nature videos, cooking videos, tutorial videos, and audio-based podcasts. Well, here are also a handful of ideas, and they're not based on a topic, but they're more specific because I specify the fact that I don't want to show my face. So let's add a different detail. Topic, entertainment. And here we go. Well, here we have 10 ideas that follow our instructions. So it's all about giving ChatGPT good prompts. Good prompts mean that you need to be very specific and you need to follow some structures. Structures we will discuss in the following lectures. And basically, this is why people need prompt engineers so much right now. Because ChatGPT has such a huge potential that hasn't been discovered yet. And different companies try to use that potential as much as possible. And they need people that can maximize the productivity of ChatGPT. People that can make really useful and good prompts. So that's what we need. We need good prompts that execute what we need them to execute. So we need a great output. We need the desired output. That's what we need. And that's what we are going to try and develop. We're going to develop your abilities to generate and create good prompts. So this is the video. See you in the next one. Alright, so welcome back. In this video we are going to discuss the most basic structure or the most basic way to categorize prompts in terms of prompt engineering. So, prompts can vary a lot. If you go ahead and ask ChatGPT to generate a way or to generate different categories of prompts, you'll get lots of categories because there are prompts that are based on questions, prompts that ask ChatGPT to generate a story, prompts that ask ChatGPT to give some specific details, prompts that ask ChatGPT to give some questions back to the user. So there are lots of prompts you can use in ChatGPT. But now the question is, what's the most basic way to categorize prompts? And I had to go back and forth with ChatGPT a bit to end up to this structure. I call it the basic prompt structure, or it's better to call it the basic way of categorizing prompts. So what are the biggest categories of prompts? If I shall say, what are the categories of prompts at an atomical level? Then we have two main categories. The first one is called open prompts, and the second one is called closed prompts. Now, how do these two categories vary? Well, they're different because the open prompts tends to be those prompts that don't have enough specific details, and you mainly would like to use them so that you don't limit what ChatGPT or any other software, AI software, can do. So basically, with open prompts, you allow ChatGPT to generate as output a lot of stuff. So basically, it will have to choose between lots of things. So, for example, open prompts could be useful when brainstorming. You don't have a specific idea or topic, you just want to brainstorm lots of ideas. So ChatGPT can use those open prompts to generate you different ideas, right? Now, these are exceptions when talking about when you should use open prompts, because you can imagine that there are more moments when you should use closed prompts than open prompts, because closed prompts are what actually give you the wanted result. So closed prompts are basically all of the prompts that do have clear instructions, or more correctly said, they tend to have conditioning. You add conditions that limit the way that the AI software can generate the output. So basically you tell to the software, to the AI, which path to take. So for example, you could add at the beginning of your prompt a specific topic, and then the AI will have to generate the response based on the topic you provided it with. So basically we will work mostly with closed prompts, just because open prompts are the most basic way to write prompts, and they're not really useful unless you want to brainstorm ideas, and even then open prompts tend to have some conditioning. So you see, open prompts are basically, it's not that they don't have conditions, it's just that they don't have too many specific conditions, so that you don't limit the ability of the software to go in whatever direction it wants to go. Basically, you don't give it a topic, you allow the software to take whatever path it wants to take. But even with open prompts, there are some conditions you can add, and even then they could be still called open prompts, because you leave the software to take whatever path it wants to take. Now we will get to the following video, the following lesson, where we will discuss more about that. So let's leave this for now. Let's go ahead and try some examples. All right, so now he's writing me a story about Elena. Elena had always been a bit of a wanderer. She was born into a family that loved to travel, and as a child she had been all over the world. Yada yada yada. So here is an example of an open prompt. I didn't specify which path ChatGPT should take when providing me with this story. So that's the main difference. I mean, that's the only difference. Now I will stop generating, or I mean it stopped itself. Now let me show you an example of a closed prompt. So I will say the same thing. Write me a story about Elena that teaches kids not to steal. So now this could be considered a closed prompt, because I don't allow ChatGPT to take whatever path it wants. I gave him this instruction. And you might hear me saying or referring to ChatGPT as him sometimes. I mean, you can refer to ChatGPT as him or her or it. Why do I tend to do so? Why do I tend to personalize it? Well, I will explain that a bit later in the course. But you know, I mean, if you hear me saying or calling ChatGPT him or her, I mean, whatever you want, whatever it's more easier for you, then just make sure to follow the course so you'll understand why I tend to do this. But anyway, here we have another story which has this condition. It has to have this this moral within the story. And from that day on, Elena knew that stealing was wrong. She learned that taking something that didn't belong to her could hurt others and make her feel guilty. Interesting story, actually. I just read it. Anyway, so you get the point, the difference between an open prompt and a closed prompt. That's it, mainly. I basically shaped the whole story, and it's considered that giving the prompt a topic isn't making it a closed prompt, but when you add or when you when you add this kind of conditioning where you have a huge impact on the whole outcome of the story, then you can consider it a closed prompt. So that's pretty much with this video. See you in the next one, where we will talk about open prompts and why even open prompts tend to have conditions. So see you in the next lesson. Welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about open prompts. Well, as I told you, an open prompt is a prompt which doesn't have conditioning that could limit the outcome of the task or whatever the AI software is doing. Now, as I told you again, open prompts are mostly used when you want to do some brainstorming. So what about we try to do that? So generate 20 ideas for YouTube videos. When I do that, this is an open prompt. I don't add any I don't have any conditioning here. The fact that I added the limit of ideas doesn't make it a condition that changes existentially the outcome of the of what ChatGPT is doing right now. Alright, so here we have the output. Now I want to generate 20 ideas for YouTube videos again, but this time I will use a condition, but at the same time it will not make this prompt a closed prompt. It will still be an open prompt, because it will not shape the entire outcome. I mean, of course it shapes the outcome. Each and every single detail will shape the outcome of the what ChatGPT is doing, but it's not so much limiting the chatbot. So I will tell him to prioritize novel and newer ideas. Not novels, but novel and newer ideas. So here we go. The first one isn't so new. The second one is interesting. I did not see any, I mean, maybe there are, but it sounds really interesting. Live streaming a virtual reality escape room. Sounds fun. This one sounds fun as well. I mean, here we have some great ideas. Comparing them to these ideas, well, not that these ideas are so bad, but I like these ones. I mean, they're alright, actually. I like them. So, again, you can add some conditions to open prompts. At the end of the day, open prompts are there to brainstorm. I mean, you try not to influence the outcome too much. That's what you want to do when you use open prompts. So, I mean, this is an example of an open prompt that's more developed. Let's go ahead and generate another open prompt. Give me, I don't know, a few names for characters of a novel that are going, or so I want a few characters, a few names for characters in a novel that are brave. So the condition is the fact that I want the names to sound like those of brave people. Alright, let me rephrase it. For brave characters in a novel, this is better. So I'm still allowing ChatGPT to have almost full creativity on the names, but I just added this detail. I wanted the characters to be brave, so the names should sound brave to an extent. I don't know. Of course, the name doesn't have anything to do with your bravery, but I don't know. If you want to have a nice novel, sometimes you need to have names that match the identity of your characters, so that it's easier to remember those characters, if you know what I mean. So let's get the results. Let's see what the results will be. Arya, Tristan, wow, Phoenix, Rowan, Astrid, Orion, Altair, Kai, Ember, and Lysandra, Atlas, Talia, Gala. Well, as you can see here, we do get some interesting names, which could be used in a novel. So this is it pretty much with open prompts and how you can add details to them, but try not to, take the creative process, or try not to influence the creative process that much. So you still leave ChatGPT with a lot of creativity and a lot of, autonomy in terms of what it can generate. So that's it pretty much with this lesson. See you in the next one. Welcome back to this new lesson where we are going to learn about what does AI, NLP and GPT mean. So again, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We have ChatGPT. We're making a course on how to write prompts, not only in ChatGPT, but we're mostly going to work with ChatGPT. So therefore, why shouldn't we use the tools we get? Because that's what we are trying to teach at the end of the day. How can we use the tools we teach? So if we have them at our disposal, it would be stupid not to use them, right? So I asked ChatGPT if he could explain to me what is AI, NLP and GPT. And this is what he wrote. Sure, I'd be happy to explain. AI, artificial intelligence, refers to the ability of machines to perform tasks that typically require human-like intelligence, such as understanding natural language, recognizing images, and making decisions based on data. AI can be divided into various subfields such as machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing, NLP. Now, this is the following definition. What is NLP? What is natural language processing? So, a natural language processing is a subfield of AI that focuses on enabling machines to understand and interpret human language, both spoken and written. NLP involves the use of algorithms and models to analyze and generate language, such as text classification, sentiment analysis, and language translation. So basically, if we can make an analogy here. AI is like the brain. It makes connections, and it makes connections between information. This is what intelligence is at the end of the day. Intelligence is connecting information, connecting dots within your head. You have, multiple dots, if we can make an analogy of the dots to information, you have lots of stuff within your head. And intelligence is the way you connect the stuff the way you use it. Now, NLP is basically the translator between computer language and human language. And now GPT, it's a word we all use, ChatGPT, but not everyone knows what ChatGPT is. Not everyone knows what GPT is. So GPT is Generative Pre-trained Transformer. is a type of deep learning model that is trained on large amounts of text data using unsupervised learning techniques. GPT is a transformer-based language model that can generate human-like text by predicting the most likely next word or sequence of words given a particular context or prompt. GPT has been used in a variety of NLP applications, including chatbots, language translation, and text generations. The latest version, GPT-3, has gained significant attention for its ability to generate highly coherent and diverse text. So, basically, AI is connecting the dots, the information, its intelligence. NLP is the translator. It translates text to computer language so that the AI can understand what we're typing in as a prompt. And GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer, is just a tool that predicts what the next word will be. At the end of the day, this is what ChatGPT is. It's a tool that predicts what will be the following word, but it does it so well. I mean, it fools us into thinking it's an actual being that can think, but the truth is GPT, and what it does is it predicts the following word. I mean, this is what basically is ChatGPT, and with the use of NLP and AI, it creates something really great. So that's it pretty much on the basic definitions you have to know. Now, that's it pretty much. See you in the next lesson.